Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Zim's Beer Review. I'm your host, Garrett Zimmer. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. However you may be following Twitch or YouTube, or if you're downloading wherever podcasts are available, thanks for tuning in. Today, on episode number 15, we have a new beer that I've never tried from one of my favorite breweries back from where I'm from in Oregon. Today, we're reviewing the Deschutes Brewery it's the Red Chair NWPA. The NW is the Northwest Pale Ale. If you're following along with our beer reviews, I recently did an IPA for India Pale Ale, and I think my last episode was actually an APA, which is an American Pale Ale, and this goes a step further to Deschutes' own take on the, I guess we'll say IPA in quotes, the Northwest PA, given where the Deschutes Brewery is located out in Oregon. So really excited about this one. I've seen it before, but I've never had it before. And what drew me to this is the pale ale side of it. If you have been following, you'll know that some of my favorite beers are IPAs. And one of my favorite beers all time actually comes from Deschutes Brewery. It's their fresh squeezed IPA, and I've done a review on that. You can find that. You can find that on the channel as well if you're interested in hearing about that one. So that's what initially drew me to this beer, was the brewery itself, the beer style of it, and then reading a little bit about it. It says it's a citrus punch and bold hop aroma. So the citrus punch, if you watched the fresh squeezed review, I really enjoy that IPA simply because it has like that fruity, fresh flavor, and I'm excited to see what this citrus is. So we're going to be doing the Deschutes Brewery Red Chair Northwest Pale Ale. And if you're following on YouTube or watching on YouTube or Twitch, you'll see the bottle is on screen the whole time. And if you want to get more information about Deschutes Brewery, I'm going to put them in the description. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Kind of a little unorganized today. So we got our handy dandy bottle opener here. If we can get this open and find a glass. All right, so we'll see what this one looks like. Pouring it in, it's kind of got a deep brown, almost nearing to the red color. Looks like an amber. It's lighter than an amber, but it's a deep brown, yet still light. Kind of a golden, but it does remind me of an amber coloration on it. And about a 1/4 inch ahead. Smell-wise, it definitely smells like an IPA. It has that hop-forward flavor, definitely, or scent. That's the first thing I'm picking up. Maybe it does smell a little bit citrusy, maybe. I don't know if that's my mind playing tricks on me because I read the bottle first, but I do kind of smell it. So interested to see how this one's going to taste. It tastes definitely like an IPA. I wouldn't classify this as citrus yet. I'm going to hold my judgment on that until I've had a little bit more. But based on the first taste, I'm not getting a lot of citrus on this. It does have a lot of hop-forward flavor, and it is a smooth IPA. The Northwest Pale Ale take seems to be pretty good, but I'm not getting that citrus that they're writing about on the bottle. Yeah, even on the second drink, I'm not getting a lot of citrus flavor with this. Not that that's a bad thing, but I think I kind of got my hopes up reading about it a little bit. It's a good IPA, but I'm not picking up what they're claiming. It's a little bitter. The bitterness units on this are 60, which are the exact same as the fresh squeezed, but for some reason this is striking me as a little bit more bitter. On the front end, it's kind of lingering as well. I would say between the two of these, I prefer the fresh squeezed, but all in all, it is a pretty good beer. If you like IPAs, this is definitely going to be another one that you're going to enjoy. It's yeah, I'm getting a lot of bitterness. Bitterness and hops. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on them here and kind of see if I can find anything else out about it. So according to their website, DeschutesBrewery.com, like I said, I'll put that in the description here. This has 6.2% alcohol, and it is classified as a citrus punch pale ale. And this is technically a seasonal beer. This is actually only available January through April. So this is the first month that it's available this year. And it will be available through almost the end of spring there. So you should be able to find it. Deschutes is pretty readily available across the nation. They're not everywhere, but if you want to watch one of my previous episodes, I think it was the Jubal Ale by Deschutes. I went much more in depth on where Deschutes is located as far as where they ship to and where you can get their beers. If you're interested, I want to point you in that direction. I don't have that information in front of me right now, to be honest with you. But I will give you a little bit of additional information that I did not give you in that previous podcast that I thought was pretty interesting about Deschutes. And I don't remember mentioning it prior, so I'm going to do it now. Like I said before, they are from Oregon, and they're actually located in Bend, Oregon. That's where their brew pub is. That's where they brew all their beer, is in Bend, Oregon. So they obviously have their brewery there. They have a Portland pub / tasting room in Portland, Oregon. They have another tasting room back in Bend that's just for tasting. It's not where they brew, but they serve their beer there. And then, so if you're counting along, that's 2 in Bend, 1 in Portland, 3 total in Oregon. And then out of left field, they have a tasting room in Roanoke, Virginia, which I don't know why. That is very surprising. They definitely spread to the east, and they went totally to the East Coast. So maybe they have ties to there. If somebody knows, send me an email. Let me know. Maybe one of their owners has ties back there. Kind of a random spot to open a tasting room. In my opinion. Yeah. So that kind of classifies where you can get their beers outside of a liquor store. If you want to go to one of their breweries or one of their tasting rooms. So another really cool thing that I found on their website here, and as a home brewer, I think this is an awesome thing that Deschutes does. So if you know anything about home brewing, you'll be familiar with the term clones. And I'm not talking about the Star Wars clones. So if you're brewing a beer, you can look up recipes for beers that you know. So say, I want to make Blue Moon. Well, you're not going to get Blue Moon's exact recipe, but people have posted reviews out there, or not reviews, but grain bills and recipes for a beer that if you brew it, it's going to turn out to be like Blue Moon. And they call them clones because it's not exactly the original, but it's going to taste like the original. So what Deschutes does, which I think is awesome, is right on their website. I'm at DeschutesBrewery.com/beers/Red Chair Northwest Pale Ale. And this is their site that gives the full description of this beer. If you go to the bottom, there's a tab called Homebrew. And if you click on Homebrew, they give you the exact recipe and grain bill, malts, hops, everything that you need to make this at home. And I think that is such a cool thing because a lot of home brewers are looking for these. And the fact that they post it right on their website that says, hey, we know you like our beer and we want you to be able to make it at home, that's really cool. So if you're interested in getting into brewing, or maybe you are a brewer and you have never really considered trying to make a clone, I'm going to point you in the direction of Deschutes Brewery because you're getting the grain bill and the whole brewing process straight from a brewery themselves. So you kind of can't go wrong with that. I think that's a super cool thing that they do for home brewers. And I'm going to have to do this. This is something I didn't know they had. And maybe the next beer that I brew is going to be a home brew straight from their site. So I think that's pretty cool. Wrapping up with the beer review side of this, I think this is a really good pale ale. I'm not agreeing with the citrus side of this, but I do think it's refreshing. It is a little bit bitter. It has more of that bitterness from the hops than I probably like in an IPA or a pale ale, but that's not to say that it's too much. But just for my flavor, it's not something that I seek out in a beer. I go a little bit less bitter and a little bit more flavor, but overall this is a really smooth beer. I'm satisfied with it, and I'm gonna finish the bottle for sure. So overall, pretty darn good beer. Another good one out of Deschutes. So that kind of wraps up our beer review. So if you want to learn more, you can follow me on Twitch. You can follow me on YouTube. Keep up with all the videos and live streams. And if you want to follow the audio-only version of the podcast, you can find us anywhere podcasts are found. If you get them on Apple Podcasts or Podomatic or pretty much any app on your phone that you download podcasts, you search Zim's Beer Review, it's going to pop right up. So if you're interested, go to there. I'm also on Twitter at Zim's Beer Review. Give me a follow. You can send me a message, send me a question, send me any comments. I'll reply to you guys as soon as I can. So, as always, happy drinking.